Hey guys, my name is Simeo, and today I wanted to do another Did You Know style of video for Rainbow Six Siege. This has been something that you guys have been asking ever since I released the last one, and now that we've had a chance to play on the new content for the White Noise DLC, I figured that this would be the perfect opportunity. And so to start things off, in what I consider to be probably the coolest and most unique Easter egg that Ubisoft has ever done for this game, we have to make our way on over to the new tower map. If you find your way on down into the restaurant, you'll notice that there is a briefcase in one of the rooms. Now, most people probably wouldn't think anything special of this briefcase, I was included, but it was pointed out to me by one of my viewers, and I think it was originally discovered by Reddit user Link, where if you melee or destroy the briefcase, you can actually get your drone inside. Now, what's unique about this box is that there's also a slit that you can fall on down where your drone will then discover this secret room. Now, this by itself, I would probably consider to be an Easter egg. Like, clearly they went out of their way to add this little cubby here, but if you then get your drone to launch itself at the books, you then discover a drone hole. If you follow the hole all the way down, then you get to the true secret room. The first thing you're going to notice here, and it's very obvious, is the shadow display of Rainbow Six Siege's box art. It even has, if you find your way onto the back, a flashlight illuminating this object, and then it just kind of has that display on the wall. This is probably one of the coolest Easter eggs that Ubisoft has ever created for this game. It also makes me question if they've done anything similar like this on past DLCs. Is there another secret room on Coastline that we just haven't discovered? They've kind of dropped hints along the way. And so one part of me just wants to scour every single map, every single DLC content to find something along these lines, because I really think they went above and beyond with this one. The last thing you'll notice in this room is that there also is a smoke chibi. Now, he isn't the only one that's on tower. You can also find Tachanka and Montaigne. If you make your way on over to the information booth, there is a desk. If you crouch on down, you'll notice Tachanka looking godlike. And then if you find your way on over to the CEO section of the map, there is kind of like a closet section. And if you look all the way up onto the top shelf, there is Montaigne. The final Easter egg that I was able to find is in the gift shop. Now, I was scouring all over this map to try to find any references to Siege or references to other video games that would qualify as an Easter egg, and that journey led me to the gift shop. I noticed in the top section of it, there was this random ledge with a box on top of it, and only that box. I was like, okay, that's a bit odd. Let's kind of throw a drone up there really quickly and see if there's another secret drone hole to another secret room. That was kind of what I was hoping for. What I found was this random statue head up here. Now, I have no idea what this could be referring to, but it's kind of weird that Ubisoft would have a random statue head on top of this ledge here. It doesn't make any sense. I shot an Ash breaching charge. I kind of tried to shoot at it from an angle. It didn't activate or anything, but I thought it was kind of odd. And so maybe this was just them, messing with us. Maybe this is just kind of an asset that wasn't meant to be there, but just kind of was left behind. But I thought that this was noteworthy because I feel like there's something more to this puzzle. Maybe it's a reference, maybe this is the start of an even grander Easter egg. I don't really know, but I thought that it was at least worth mentioning. The next thing I wanted to take a look at are the new operators, because they bring some pretty unique mechanics to the table that we've never actually had in Siege. And so to start things off, I want to take a look at Vigil. So he has a brand new shotgun that is very unique to Siege. It only has 2 shots, it's a slug round, and it hits incredibly hard. What I didn't realize though is that you can actually use this to open up holes in the windows on plane. The only one that was able to do this before was Glaz. Now, you can't directly shoot someone through a window. You actually have to open up a hole, but if you use the shotgun to first open up said hole, you can take anyone out on the other side. This is going to make for a really interesting dynamic if this was intended. Now, this is on the technical test server, and so maybe they're going to be making some changes, but if this does go through live, plane is going to be a different beast when you do have Vigil on your team. If you're able to use this shotgun on a couple of windows, you could have people using ACOGs to spawn peek all day. Not only are you now going to have to worry about people just kind of running outside of the different doorways, but now if you have to watch out for every single window, and of course there's a lot of windows on plane where they could be using these small little holes, that could be a game changer. And so I'm not exactly sure if this was intended, but if it did, it's going to have some pretty significant ramifications when you do play on this map. Another thing related to the shotgun is that it hits incredibly hard, and that also means that it's able to one-shot people at pretty extreme distances, at least compared to all the other shotguns. If you're fighting against a one-armored operator, for example, as long as you're about 14 to 13 meters away, if you hit them in the chest, you're going to be able to take them out with that one shot. No other shotgun has that kind of capability. Now, one thing that is worth noting, though, is that if you do hit them in the leg, it is going to do limb damage, and you're not going to be able to get that one shot going off. It's going to do significantly less. And so as long as you're at least somewhat accurate and you're going for those chest shots, you're going to be able to have that one shot potential. This also means that at extreme distances, even at like 100 meters away, doesn't seem to matter what armor type they have, even if they're 3 armor, if you get 2 shots into their chest, because this thing does hit so hard and has very little damage drop off even at those extreme distances, you can snipe people with those 2 shots and drop them consistently. This is a very unique weapon, and while I wouldn't say that it's overpowered, some of you are thinking right now, whoa, you can 2-shot people? Glaz can't even do that at that range. Well, you only have 2 shots before you have to reload. You don't have an ACOG, and this is going to require a lot of skill. And so while I think there are going to be people out there that are going to be able to master this weapon, and it's going to be a force to be reckoned with, I think in general, because you have to overcome so many of its drawbacks and weaknesses, that it's not going to be a problem, or at least I hope it's not going to be a problem. The final thing related to Vigil is that did you know when you're trying to drone him out, figure out where he's located, when he has his ability active, not only do you see the UI, the HUD indicating that he's nearby, but the closer and closer that you get to him, it also starts to make a beeping noise. The closer you are to his exact location, the louder that noise is. And so while it doesn't give you an exact position, it's still kind of a general idea. If you do kind of assume that he's in a room, if he's not shooting out your drone and he's just kind of letting it drive around, you can actually use that information to your advantage to kind of pinpoint a general idea of where he is. There's some sections of the map where there's not a lot of spots for him to hide in, and so as long as you hear that noise and you know he's in the left-hand side of the room, well, you know that there isn't a lot of hiding spots, and that could give you the advantage in those situations. Moving on over to Zofia, I also wanted to take a look at her gadgets. Now, we already know that it can launch 2 impact nades and 4 concussive nades, but did you know that those concussive nades also will detonate on proximity? So if an enemy is nearby and you launch this in their direction, as long as it's within 5 meters, about 4 to 5 meters, it's going to detonate and cause that concussive effect. So right off the bat, that is a gigantic radius. So as long as they're within about 5 meters, you're going to be able to have that advantage. But did you know that it goes even further than that? Let's say the enemy is a little bit further than that 5 meters, let's say about 8 to 9 meters away. As long as that thing goes off and they're within line of sight, it's also going to cause that concussive effect. This gadget is incredible. I kind of assumed that it was going to be similar to the way that the Elemines worked, where you needed to be about 4 meters and closer to be stunned, but it seems like Ubisoft didn't think that was enough for the offensive side of things and just made it like a 10 or 9 meter radius. It's absolutely incredible. The final thing I wanted to mention in today's video is there's also some really cool synergies and counters to these new operators. Probably one of the coolest combos is with Dokebi and IQ. As soon as Dokebi goes to hack the enemy phones to cause them to ring, if IQ has her gadget out, she can actually see when the defenders go to turn off their cell phones, which gives you that information. Now, of course, you could have just tried to use the sound to identify where the enemy was, but that can be quite difficult in some cases. The sound in this game can be a bit finicky, they could be really far away, and so if you are playing as IQ, it gives you their exact location because of the gadget, and then you can swoop on in and take out that roamer. It can be a really powerful combo. Now, one way that you can counter Dokebi's gadget, though, is to play either as Mute or Echo. If you stand on a Mute jammer when she activates her gadget, your phone isn't going to go off. Same with Echo. Echo's technology is apparently too advanced. I think Echo, the backstory is that he worked with her for a while, so he knows all of her tricks, and so when she uses her gadget against him, he also won't make any sound. These can be really great ways at catching the enemy by surprise. If they're really relying on Dokebi's gadget to figure out if someone's in a room, as long as you're on that mute jammer, they don't hear anything. They come on in thinking that it's clear, and hopefully you're gonna be able to come at that firefight alive. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's episode of Did You Know? I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you guys discovered anything new with this most recent DLC. I know it's not available for everyone. Right now, it's only on the technical test server for PC. But if you guys found any Easter eggs on the new map, is there anything cool or interesting that you think is noteworthy about the new operators? Let everyone know down below in the comment section. But yeah, guys, until tomorrow, have a good one and take it easy.